Hello, and welcome back to AI for the Humanities. I'm Megan McInnes Dominguez, Associate Professor of Spanish at the University of Delaware, and this channel is your go-to resource for exploring the intersection of generative AI and humanities education. Here, we explore the latest developments in large language models, image and video generation tools, and the ways that AI is reshaping how we teach, learn, and imagine the future of both pedagogy and scholarship. In today's episode, we're turning our attention to Google Gemini, one of the most ambitious and fastest evolving generative AI models on the scene. As part of our AI for the Humanities internship course, my students have been researching and analyzing a wide range of tools, and today's deep dive is led by our undergraduate intern, Catherine Komp. Catherine is a public policy major with a minor in Spanish. She's done a phenomenal job unpacking what Gemini is, how its latest features like code assist, deep research, and multimodal integration work, and, most importantly, how it can be used in humanities classrooms and research. She also takes a close look at how Gemini compares to tools like ChatGPT, Claude, and Microsoft Copilot, offering clear insights into what makes Gemini unique and where it still needs improvement. Whether you're a student, educator, or just AI curious, this episode will help you better understand what Gemini can do and where we need to stay critical as we integrate its technologies into our work. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the AI for the Humanities YouTube channel. My name is Catherine, and today we're talking about Google Gemini, an AI that's rapidly evolving and has the huge potential, especially for students. Is Gemini the tool that will revolutionize how we research, analyze, and create? That's what we're looking to find out today, so stay tuned for some more information. Gemini is Google's attempt at a highly capable general-purpose AI designed for work with lots of different types of data and information, from text to code, images, and recently audio as well. In this video, we'll be looking at Gemini's main features and latest updates, discuss how it holds up against competing LLMs like ChatGPT, Claude, and Copilot, and most importantly, explore how it could be a game changer for humanities students. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get started. Let's start by taking a look at some of Gemini's key features and some of its strengths as well. As we talked about, multimodality, which is the ability to work with lots of different types of media and information, is a core strength of Gemini. It can easily summarize documents, create images, generate code, and analyze audio, say of a speech, for example, and analyze it to find connections in between these different types of media. Okay, we're going to run through a quick example of how Gemini's document summarization feature can be used to effectively help you with hard readings and summarization. So here I asked Gemini, in 1 page or less, summarize the reading, and I gave it a long document, over 30 pages on the Stanford prison experiment, very dense, for it to summarize. So here it is. This is sped up a little bit, but it was overall pretty quick. So then it gives me about a page of summary, and this can be a great tool to help you summarize long information like this and to save you a bit of time. So I encourage you to try it out yourself. Next, I had Gemini help me with some image generation to test it out. So here I'm asking it to generate an image of a tomato field on a sunny day with a donkey in the center, something you can't easily find on the internet necessarily, so let's see what it comes up with. So generally pretty quick, it comes up with pretty much what I asked for, a donkey in a tomato field, sunny day. So I decided to see if it could tweak it a little bit and see what it does. Now it's a rainy day. And it is able to generate the image pretty quickly. Notice there are some changes, but generally what I asked for. You can try out a lot of different things. Here I am switching up, instead of a tomato field, put the donkey in a butterfly garden and have it being chased by a tiger. Definitely not something you're going to be able to find on the internet, so let's see what it does on it. Here it is creating my image, and it does take a minute sometimes. This is sped up. And here's what it came up with. Not necessarily exactly, but a loose interpretation, and it can be a good tool if you're not able to find what you're looking for immediately on the internet. I definitely enjoy playing around with it, so I encourage you to poke around, see what you could create, and here is another modified image. So, and the last thing I asked for it was to replace the donkey with a small dog. Again, just showing a couple of different things that it can do, and here's the final image. Gemini is also increasingly good at coding and advanced reasoning. We'll talk about it more later, but the Code Assist feature is a great tool for anyone getting started with coding, especially now that the free usage window has been recently expanded. It can handle complex problems, generate code in various programming languages, and help identify bugs in existing code. This can be extremely useful for humanities students looking to get into coding and who also want to incorporate it into their research, such as analyzing large data sets or creating interactive visuals. Okay, now let's get into the different models. Within the Gemini umbrella, there are three main versions that suit different needs. There's Gemini Nano, which is optimized for on-device tasks and incorporated into Google Pixel phones and some Samsung devices. However, I'll be mostly focused today on the web and app models rather than Nano. So Gemini Flash is free through the Gemini app or browser, and it's a multimodal model best for everyday tasks. It's low latency, powerful, and has most of the features of the paid models with some exceptions. Within this tier is the new 2.0 Flash and 2.0 Flash Thinking experimental models, and we'll get more into the specifics of what they can do in just a minute. The paid tier, called Gemini Advanced, is $19.90 a month after the first month free, and it is half off for students. And this includes Gemini Pro, as well as access to other features like incorporation into Google Workspace, Docs, Gmail, etc. At the end of January 2025, Gemini rolled up the new 2.0 Flash and Flash Thinking experimental models to replace the 1.5 Flash and 1.5 Pro models. With this came faster responses as well as improved image generation, especially thanks to the February update to Imagen 3, its image generation software, as well as a 2 million token input window and a larger 8K token output window. It also came with a more recent knowledge cutoff of June 2024. These models are more than powerful enough for the casual user. They can create detailed images, although images of people are still limited to Gemini Advanced users. They can generate more accurate code using the Code Assist feature, analyze documents and proofread, help you brainstorm, answer questions, and so much more. In February, developers added document upload capability and the ability to use past chats to tailor responses to a growing list of previously pro features now available for free to all users. In March, personalization experimental and gems were added to the Flash models, allowing you to create and use custom AI experts on any topic. The 2.0 Flash Thinking model also received huge updates in the form of access to the previously pro deep research feature, which I will demo soon. This allows Gemini to search the internet for information and provide original sources on relevant websites. This helps reduce the issues surrounding plagiarism and it taking information without citing where it came from when generating a response. According to Google, when it announced the model, it is a chat-optimized version with features including multimodal live API, or real-time audio and video interactions, better spatial understanding, native image and controllable text-to-speech generation with watermarking, and integrated tool use through Google Search. It also brings a 1 million token context window for better analysis of long-form content. However, there are still some notable benefits to paying for Gemini Advanced, especially for students. In addition to a much higher context window and usage limits than the free version, advanced users also get access to new features and updates generally sooner than when it is finally rolled out to all users. Features like deep research, gems, code assist, document upload, and workspace integration that are now only coming to all users now have been available for months to those with a subscription. Additionally, responses tend to be more detailed and with less censorship in the premium version. It can handle complex requests, generate comprehensive reports and summaries of sources and documents of up to 1,500 pages, create detailed quality images of people, objects, landscapes, and more. Google seems to be also heavily pushing Gemini's coding abilities as one of its main features and lists coding as the main strength of the 2.0 Pro model, which was released in February. 2.0 Pro is designed for more in-depth research, coding, code analysis, and features a 2 million token context window and the ability to call on Google Search and turn on code execution to support this. Like the free version, it also supports input data of text, image, video, and audio, as well as Gemini Live, which allows you to talk back and forth with an AI without typing, and it will respond back verbally. Now that you have a basic understanding of what Gemini can do, let's see how it compares to other large language models, or LLMs, like OpenAI's ChatGPT, Anthropic's Claude, and Microsoft Copilot. It is important to note that the field of AI is rapidly changing and new research and updates are constantly emerging. Since Gemini's 2.0 Flash Thinking, and Pro models are relatively new, having come out in December, January, and February respectively, there hasn't been significant research yet on how these models compare to competitors. But there have been many studies comparing Gemini's 1.5 Flash and 1.5 Pro functionality to other LLMs. Gemini's biggest competition is ChatGPT, OpenAI's multimodal LLM that is very similar to in its functions and features to Gemini. In some studies, Gemini 1.5 Flash have been shown to lag behind ChatGPT 4 in areas like coding and research, with its outputs being more likely to have errors in code or hallucinations in the research reports it compiled. It will be interesting to see how this changes as more data and studies come out about the new deep research and code assist features on the 2.0 models, and see if they fix issues or how they compare. But as the data currently stands, the data available shows that Gemini is behind Chat in these areas. Where it does fall ahead, however, is in basic productivity tasks. This could include brainstorming, writing assistance, or document summarization like we saw earlier, as well as in image generation, which is free through Gemini and available only at the paid tiers through ChatGPT. Anthropic's Claude is known for its emphasis on safety and providing helpful responses and harmless responses. This includes reducing bias in its responses, which has been an issue with other LLMs. It excels especially in long-form content, including generating, processing long-form text, and has a large context window, and it has had that since its inception. However, where Gemini is focused a lot on multimodality, Claude's is a little less developed, and it's also not as integrated into other programs as ChatGPT and Gemini. Finally, Microsoft Copilot was specifically designed to assist with coding tasks like providing code completion, suggestions, and examinations. It is particularly useful for code developers because of its deep integration with development environments. Because of this, it does have a more limited scope than Gemini and other LLMs, like the ones mentioned before, making it less versatile, but it certainly is good at its intended purpose, which is for coding. If you're looking for general knowledge question answering, though, it's probably not the best choice. It is also important to consider factors like integration with other tools when looking at and comparing AIs. For example, Gemini is easily integrated with the Google ecosystem, something we will discuss more later, but this can be a significant advantage for students who are already using or familiar with Google products. Ultimately, the best LLM for you depends on your specific needs and priorities, and I encourage you to watch the other videos posted to this channel to learn more about some of the other models to make your decision. Alright, it's finally time to get to the important question. How can Gemini help students, specifically for the humanities? The possibilities are vast. Gemini can be used to efficiently review and summarize literature and reports, which can be a huge help for students dealing with large amounts of reading. It can also assist with comparing different literary works, summarize and explain historical events, and analyze text in many different languages. For research papers, it can help you find primary and secondary sources, create a research plan for outlines, as well as brainstorm ideas and even proofread and provide feedback on your writing. The deep research feature I mentioned earlier in particular can be a powerful tool for gathering information from the internet and compiling reports super easily. And it's now available for free under the 2.0 Flash Thinking experimental model. Okay, here I'm going to test out one of the most, in my opinion, exciting features on Gemini right now. This is its deep research feature, and here I asked it to help me identify some sources that support the position that tomatoes are fruit, following our tomato theme from earlier. And as you can see, it brings up a research plan And then when I hit start research, it starts compiling different sources for me and following the plan that we agreed on. And you can also tweak it if needed in the previous step. So I had sped this up, but it does take a minute, but it comes up with all these different sources supporting the position that I was asking it to. And this is a big improvement in transparency and the ability to cite different sources so that you know where the information is getting from. And so as I can see here, you can also ask questions while it's doing that, and then it does take a second here, but it will be coming up with additional research, and I think this is one of the most exciting features to be coming to the free version because it can really save us students a lot of times. It automatically, as you just saw, links all the sources that it's checking out, and you can see the websites it's researched. You can go to them directly to verify the information, which is super helpful in limiting hallucinations and weeding out information you see as false, because you can see exactly where that information is coming from. And then if we just wait here a second, it says it's wrapping up the research, and then I can get eventually a complete summary, and then I'm able to export that straight into Google Docs along with all of the sources. You can see ones that it's read but not used in the report, as well as an easy button to export it right to Docs. Gemini is also super useful for digital projects for humanities students. Its coding abilities can help students get started with coding and learn programming languages like Python, which can be used for data analysis and creating interactive visuals. Although I'm not super well versed in coding or computer science, Code Assist does make it easier and more accessible for students starting out, as well as more experienced people, to create and edit code. Additionally, Gemini can be a valuable language learning tool and can easily translate between more than 40 languages, from English, Spanish, Japanese, Hindi, Bengali, Hebrew, Latvian, and more. It can help with grammar correction, have conversations, and quiz you to help you learn faster. The Gems feature lets you create custom AI experts on specific topics, so if you wanted, you could create something like a French tutor gem and practice that way as well. For music students, Gemini can analyze musical scores to identify patterns, as well as explain musical theory concepts, create practice schedules, suggest harmonies, write lyrics, and provide feedback on melodies. It can also help with music history by telling you about different musical periods, composers, and genres, as well as be a valuable assistant in paper writing and analysis. Finally, I think Gemini's biggest strength in what gives it an edge over competitors is its seamless integration with the Google ecosystem. By design, Gemini was made to be used in tandem with other Google products. This includes things like Google Drive, Docs, Sheets, Calendar, Gmail, etc., and many students are already familiar with these, so Gemini's integration can create a more streamlined and efficient workflow, saving you time switching between different platforms and applications. Documents can be easily uploaded from your Google Drive, which is automatically connected through the Google account used to sign up for Gemini, and reports and other outputs generated by Gemini can be easily transferred back into Google Docs with the correct formatting, making research easier and more seamless for those familiar with the Google Workspace. Other features like AI summaries and smart suggestions in Gmail and Google Calendar save time and effort on everyday tasks. In essence, this integration is designed to create a more unified, efficient, and user-friendly experience by bringing the power of AI directly into the tools we already rely on every day. Now let's take a closer look at some of Gemini's strengths and some areas that need improvement based on the research. As we just saw, an integration with the Google Workspace is one of Gemini's biggest strengths, and then it's, in my opinion, the main thing that differentiates it from other LLMs we discussed earlier. Multimodality is also a big focus and strength of the program, and it can easily and quickly process and connect information across different formats. And I have talked quite a bit already about what Gemini does well, so I do want to touch on some of the drawbacks. The current research available does show Gemini 1.5 Flash and Pro models falling behind competitors in areas like coding and research. We'll have to wait and see how the newer models compare, but as the data stands now, it has more bugs and errors than competitors like Copilot and ChatGPT. It also has concerns about censorship, particularly regarding political topics and particularly in the free tier. Sometimes Gemini will straight up say it will or cannot answer something, which has raised questions about Google's censorship and information. Additionally, it does not always cite sources accurately or provide sources at all for information that it puts out, which is necessary in academic work to avoid plagiarism. It is important to find out where the information came from and to cite a primary source for any academic work rather than blindly trusting anything an AI model provides, especially with the possibility of hallucinations presenting false information as a fact. Finally, like all LLMs, it has bias based on the source material it was trained on. A recent study showed that Gemini can exhibit social biases, particularly against Black and Middle Eastern groups. This has also been an issue in its early image generation, which attempts to avoid bias led to it going further in the opposite direction with skewed results. For these reasons, it is so important to use AI tools responsibly and critically and evaluate its output each time for bias and accuracy. Additionally, there are also ethical and environmental concerns with the use of AI generally. These models use significant energy and water to operate, so I would encourage you to look into this research surrounding the ethical concerns before engaging with any of them, or to limit use to what is necessary when possible. As you've now seen, Gemini is a powerful and versatile tool with significant potential for students and to transform humanities research and education, even with its drawbacks. It can automate certain tasks, provide new insights, and easily answer questions on endless topics, but it is certainly crucial to use it responsibly and ethically and to remain critical of any results that you get. I encourage you to experiment with Gemini, look into prompt engineering, and explore its features. It is a valuable tool to incorporate into your academic journey and studies, and exciting new features and updates come out all the time. So go check it out either through the Gemini mobile app or just search Google Gemini in the web version. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below, and if you like the video, give it a like and subscribe to the AI for the Humanities channel for more content on various AI topics and models. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
As we've seen, Google Gemini is an ambitious and multifaceted AI model, one that's expanding rapidly and being positioned by Google as a central hub for productivity, creativity, and information retrieval. For students in the humanities, Gemini offers a compelling set of features: the ability to summarize dense readings, translate and analyze texts across dozens of languages, generate citations and outlines, and even support coding and digital storytelling projects. Its tight integration with Google Workspace gives it a practical edge for streamlining academic workflows, especially if you're already working in Docs, Sheets, or Gmail. But it's not without its issues. The research shows that Gemini, especially in its earlier versions, but not so much now, lags behind ChatGPT in areas like code accuracy and long-form research integrity. Concerns about bias, hallucination, censorship, and source transparency are real and must be taken seriously, particularly in educational contexts where credibility matters. As with all generative AI, Gemini's outputs need to be verified, contextualized, and cited properly. The bottom line, Gemini can be an incredibly useful assistant, but it should never replace your critical thinking or original analysis. Like all AI tools, its real value comes when it complements students' and professors' learning, not when it takes over the process. If you're willing to engage with it thoughtfully, Gemini can help you work smarter, uncover new insights, and explore new creative and intellectual pathways. Thanks so much for watching. If you learned something new or found this video to be helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to AI for the Humanities for more student-driven explorations of AI tools in education, as well as the latest AI news. And let me know in the comments, have you used Gemini yet? What's your experience been like? See you next time.
I dropped my docs in the drive last night. You read them all, made the highlights tight. You answered fast, you drew the chart. But can you feel the beating heart? I scroll through gems and clever lines, but I still need context, space, and time. You speak in layers, smooth and wide, but do you see what's side. You built the score, you traced the tone. You answered well, but not alone. I asked for depth, you gave a link, but I still have to pause and think. There's power in the merge of minds, but lines get blurred between the finds. A side I cross-check, dig again. I shape the meaning, not just when. Gemini on my side, make the process smooth, not blind. Help me code, but don't define what's between the truth and line. Gemini, I won't confide all my thinking to your stride. Stay my tool, not my guide. Gemini on my side.